Hello and welcome. This is another episode of the Onside Kick brought to you by Fox Sports. I'm here, as always, with my good friend Ted Smith. How you doing, Teddy?
Good, mate. I'm good.
That's good. A
All
little bit
things
of
considered.
hesitation this week, but
Oh, the slow burn apocalypse, the pandemic, the shit that comes with that. But besides all that, man, yeah, tip top. Let's go.
football's been good at least, right?
Thank God.
One thing to look forward to in our weeks. We will get straight into some games that you would have been able to watch on ESPN, and then as well as a few other tasty little fixtures that we saw. We'll run you through our Australians and how they did with their stats before moving on to the games, which will be coming up this week.
That's how football works, mate. Week after week till she's done, baby.
Previews, reviews, wrap it all up together. Too easy.
Okay.
Which means we can jump straight into the Thursday night football game.
And then jump straight out of it after we mention CMC going down sucks. The Texans will suck until Tyrod gets back, and we'll see what Sam Darnold's really got when they play some decent competition. But outside of that, what do you want to add, mate?
No.
It was almost a week ago and it sucked. What are we doing?
That was pretty much it. I think only thing of note worth adding to that was CMC's injury is not super serious, it seems. He wasn't placed on IR.
Okay, but I'll say this. Is his injury history serious?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's starting to add up.
Darnold looked solid, albeit against a relatively weak defense. Panthers, though, looking sharp.
With a solid defense.
Against what they've been put up against. So,
yeah,
they'll be pretty happy with that. Moving straight on to a much more exciting game was the Chiefs playing the Chargers.
I'm surprised you'd bring that one up, mate.
Which I believe you were feeling pretty confident about last week.
I just allowed myself to be excited about the potential that the Chiefs would be coming last in the AFC West, and you said, "Yeah, but that won't happen." And
pretty much word for word.
Yeah, and you know, mate, that's why they play the games, okay? Because you never know. But we should have had an idea without knowing, because Justin Herbert's first start last year, this sounds funny, when the Chargers medical staff punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung, sent him to hospital and said, "It'll be your spot when you get back," and never started for the Chargers again. Anyway, Herbert almost beat the Chiefs in his first start last year. So it shouldn't have been too much of a shock. We were talking about it before we started recording, but over their last 12 games, the Chiefs' point differential is -2. So they still win. They were in last year's Super Bowl. They're only on a 2-game schneid. I don't know if they've been on one. I'd be very surprised if Pat Mahomes has started 2 games and lost both of them in his NFL career.
Off the top of my head, I think it was 2015.
That's the last time, yeah. The Chiefs got off to a slow start. That was Alex Smith's season, and they still made the playoffs. So don't sleep on Andy Reid, even though Andy Reid is hopefully sleeping and recuperating.
Yes.
After he had a health scare on the sideline. But I digress. Very well done by the Chargers. Surprising by the Chiefs, and it creates a great narrative. It would have been boring if the Chiefs were 3-0, just tearing through the division, tearing through the conference, and it was status quo. But now the champions have passed, obviously not the most recent past, but they are good.
Mm-hmm.
They've got an uphill battle to climb in a division that it's probably fair to say is the most stacked in the AFC.
Yeah. Costly turnovers, interceptions, and
2 weeks in a row, costly turnovers
from Herbert. From Mahomes. Well, Herbert had a few little questionable moments as well, but yeah, Mahomes. One of them you can't blame him, where it just doinked straight out of the tight end's hands.
It was a weekend of doinks, a couple of good doinks.
Which, when you've got Travis Kelce on your team, it must be tough for the other tight ends to come in and get reps and then drop a questionable ball straight into the arms of a defender. That's not going to ensure he gets a lot of snap percentage going forward.
Opposite, I dare say.
Mike Williams looked red hot still for the Chargers. 7 receptions, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. Him and Justin Herbert seem to have found a cute little relationship together.
Yeah.
The one big shock out of this was at the end of the game, 1st and goal, the Chargers set up right in front. They had 32 seconds left, and they opted to throw a touchdown on the first play rather than chewing the clock and kicking the field goal as time expired. And Tony Romo, as it happened, screaming out, why would you give Patrick Mahomes 32 seconds with a timeout to go back down the other end? Which, honestly, they caught him napping and they got the touchdown.
Yeah.
Then they missed the extra point. So you gave 30 seconds to Patrick Mahomes to go and win the game, not even tie it up, which was pretty baffling.
Fair to say that the Chiefs' last 2 losses, both narrow against good competition, and there's still a little bit of luck that went to the opposition, for sure.
Yeah. 10 of Patrick Mahomes' 12 career losses have now been against teams who scored 30-plus points. So when the Chiefs lose, the other team scores a lot of points. But also, when the Chiefs win, the other team.
That's what I was going to say. Pat Mahomes is just forever on the sideline yelling, "Someone please make a tackle."
Any type of defensive play, or I'll just go out and.
He's that good. And last year when he was on the field, he was like, "Please, someone make a block." Like he's asked to cover up a lot of holes on this Chiefs team. It's just that he usually does it.
But that was one of the best games of the week. Lots of highlights in that one. And now, the Chargers really starting to look solid heading through into the middle stage of the season. 2 other teams who have made great starts to the season as well were the Rams and the Bucs, who played against each other. I am positive that you were watching this one as a faithful Rams fan. Rams snaring it 34-24.
It's such a good time to be a Rams fan. Like the whole franchise is just happy, from coach, quarterback, and everyone else. Donald, it's really good. But I think it's fair to say that they're probably the best team in the NFC at the moment.
Which then means they're one of the best teams in the NFC.
Yeah, for sure. Like they just beat the champions, and they didn't just beat them. Like it was never really a contest. They never gave up the lead. Tampa Bay got neck and neck a couple of times, but there were 4 straight drives by Matt Stafford of 75 yards or more. That's all you can ask for a quarterback and an offensive scheme, and that's what you have to do to beat the GOAT. And everyone was high on the Bucs defense. The way they finished last season, the fact they brought everyone back. Mm-hmm. The only person that wasn't really worried about them was Sean McVay. And I mean, no panic stations for the Bucs. They've still got Tom Brady. They had a couple of bad losses at the start, the first third of last year. Sorry,
against the Saints, they got pumped.
The Saints, they lost to the Bears with the famous 4 fingers on. Yeah, he forgot the downs. Old man Brady. Everyone's like, "Oh, he'll have to retire. He's got Alzheimer's." And then they also lost to the Rams, but Jared Goff Rams last year as well. And they got to the bye and didn't look back. So, more than any other quarterback in the NFL, Brady can turn around his team's fortunes, and they're still 2-1.
Yeah. 2 stats that we talked about last week, which are worth revisiting again, where you mentioned the Rams, undefeated record when leading at halftime since McVay.
40-0 now, yeah.
Crazy. And also, we were talking about how Brady, before this weekend's game, needed roughly 500 yards to break the all-time. And we were joking that if he got, 450, it would leave it perfectly set up for him to return to Foxborough. He finished against the Rams with 432 yards, which means he needs under 80 yards against the Patriots in Foxborough, traveling up there to break the all-time passing yards record. The man is a Terminator. He knew exactly how many yards he had left.
He'll be on 70 yards for the game, and he'll throw it to Gronk for a 12-yard completion. Guarantee it.
They'll both be in the end zone doing a gritty, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp continues to prosper underneath the Stafford-McVay relationship. He was the beneficiary.
Yeah, best route runner in the NFL at the moment. It's like, why else would he be so good? It's he's doing something right. And he just is in the correct position for Matt Stafford every single time.
A special shout out to Tom Brady, who led the Buccaneers in rushing yards with 3 carries for 14 yards and a touchdown.
Surely that has an effect on your mentality if you're Lenny Fournette, right? Like when you're sitting next to Brady on the bus a 44-year-old man, and you're first round selection running back. You're like, this dude just rushed more than me.
Well, playoff Lenny only comes around in the playoffs.
But this is why the Jags got rid of me. Was it the Jags?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why they bailed, man. This is why they bailed. So yeah, that is a question mark that they will have to answer. A question they'll have to answer. Sorry, the running back, because nothing seems to be working there at the moment.
Mm. Another solid matchup between two good franchises was 49ers against the Packers. Packers edging it with the game-winning drive thanks to Aaron Rodgers setting up the Crosby field goal from 50-ish yards.
What a game. What an excellent game. Happy Green Bay got the win. That means Cardinals and the Rams are now the only two undefeated teams in our division, so that's great. But, man, this is why the NFL's so good. Like, we've seen enough to be... We've seen too much to ever be certain about a result. But when Jimmy G throws that touchdown at the end, you do think they've won it. You're pretty convinced. 37 seconds left. It's like, A-Rod can do something. But then the nature of football, because there is only 37 seconds left, you go from this one viewpoint of San Francisco, Jimmy G, live to fight another day, great victory versus a good team. Bang. It's over the other way. Crosby nails it after Rodgers hooks up with his main man Adams a couple of times. Great to watch. And he was pretty sassy in the press conference too.
Which we love. 49ers takeaways, I would say, I love this Jimmy G, Trey Lance combo, I guess we can say, that they're running, where, when you have the ability to bring Trey Lance in from a yard out and have that, either a read option or a designed quarterback run, Jimmy G is not that guy.
No.
Jimmy G has other great qualities or other better than average qualities. So I think it's a...
So would you put him in, Trey Lance?
No, I'm saying I like it as the combination.
Yeah.
Much as I liked how it was Dalton and Fields, where Andy Dalton had to go and ruin that little situation for the Bears to finish with less than 60 yards of total offense. But the flip side of that is the Jimmy G and Trey Lance one is, I think it's unique. It gives the opposition coach has a lot more to think about, especially in red zone situations. And I'm excited to see where it goes. Jimmy G might not necessarily be the future. Trey Lance could be. So to have them working together, bouncing off each other, I don't think it's panic stations for the 49ers.
I mean, you look around the league and this was meant to be an excellent quarterback class, and it still might be, right? But on the weekend, out of the rookies that started, 1 touchdown, 7 interceptions. They all lost, obviously. And it's been I think they're 1-10, and the only win was Mac Jones versus another rookie in Wilson. So they're 0.5 basically out of 11 starts for rookies. So I'd probably look at that and pause on Trey Lance and say that they're currently doing the right thing. Yeah. Because you're absolutely right. It's like, yeah, okay, let's get down there and then, have another option, have another threat. We're in the red zone, which is obviously Trey Lance's legs.
And I like the system, how it used to be more, where your rookie quarterback should come in and spend a year learning the systems, watching these enormous men compared to the college athletes fly around the field. It's important for them to have that year, have the communication, learn the plays. And you see Zach Wilson, for example, looked raw, and a bunch of those picks were straight up errors, mental errors, not reading the coverage properly.
Yeah, and I tend to think it's more situational. Like, Peyton Manning only won 1 game in his rookie season. They made the playoffs in his second season. Do they make the playoffs in that second season if they didn't start him in the first one?
Yeah.
So that was probably a good call, but that was Peyton Manning. He had a bit of hype around him coming out of college.
Exactly, yeah. The Peyton Mannings and Trevor Lawrences, stick him in.
Pat Mahomes is the strongest argument for your case. He sat, right? And look what he did. Basically, his first year of being a starting quarterback, he won the MVP. I doubt he would have done that in his rookie season, but with that guy, who knows?
Then 24 hours later was the Monday Night Football game which was the Cowboys against the Eagles. Cowboys taking that one 41-21, flexing their offensive might and doing more than enough defensively to be impressive. And I think put an exclamation point on the fact that they should be the team to take this division.
For sure. A lot of teams had Washington football team taking this division just because how good their defensive line was last year, and the addition of Fitzpatrick might have been an upgrade on, or would have been an upgrade on where they were at last year if Fitz Magic played like he did at the Dolphins. But, if he played like he did in his last year at the Jets, would have been an upgrade, who knows. But yeah, given what we saw yesterday, Dallas has the best quarterback. Their offensive line might be as good as Washington football team's defensive line, given how they've both performed this year. We weren't thinking that at the start of the season. And their wide receivers are excellent weapons. And now you're getting a bit of a two-headed beast vibe off Pollard and Eze. So, and let's face it, if Dak plays like this, he's got to be in the MVP chat at the end of the season. And if you've got an MVP caliber quarterback, you should win the NFC East.
181 total yards of offense from Zeke and Pollard, that two-headed beast you talked about. Zeke appears to be getting the red zone touches. So he had the 2 touchdowns, Pollard none. But yeah, between the two of them, they are moving the chains.
And Philly suck. They suck again.
Well, maybe we can put a little bit of that down to the fact that Jordan Mailata was hurt. He had a sprained knee.
Yeah.
So he didn't play.
Oh, well, in that case, asterisk. Did you hear what Hurts had to say after the game?
Was this about the
poo-poos?
Yes. If you want to go into it, you can. It's a great quote.
I'll try and remember it.
When
you take a deuce, you don't look at it. You flush that deuce.
Yes. So we're going to flush it and move on, which I think the symbolism of referring to your team's performance as a literal piece of shit.
Yeah.
Is marvelous.
Yeah, and normally it's a bit of too much hyperbole, but in this case, it was apt. It was accurate. That they dropped a stinker.
Another good stat on Philly to take away was Philly was just the 3rd team in the Super Bowl era with 0 giveaways and 0 takeaways in each of their first 2 games of this season. In the first quarter, they had 1 of each. They fumbled and threw an interception within 15 minutes after doing so well in the first 2 games.
Okay. Back to the field.
Non-ESPN games of note worth talking about has to be the Las Vegas Raiders against the mighty Miami Dolphins.
Mighty Miami? Is it the 60s?
Oh, mate, they're forever mighty in my heart. Don't worry about it. Regardless of depressing overtime losses, it was written... As a Miami fan, it was written in the stars the whole way through. I was like, 8 points. There's just enough time for us to get this and then lose in overtime. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at Derek Carr, looking at his numbers, how well he's playing. Raiders 3-0. It's like he could... He's boring. He needs like a neck tat. He needs a neck tat. Something just to spice up his image. Like... It's just hard. It's just hard for the kids to get behind a guy who, like, when he kicks his toe, says "Dagnammit." In 2021, he needs to spice it up a bit.
And is surely the next front man for My Chemical Romance.
He does look like he wears eyeliner. It's weird. But he has been playing top shelf quarterback football.
Yep.
And it's only 3 games in, so within 7 days we'll have like a who cares vibe on this current podcast, but it's a week-to-week league. And currently, yeah, he's definitely top 10 quarterbacks, which he's not. Maybe top 3 at the moment. When you take into consideration wins and losses too, Mahomes and Lamar have only got 3 wins between them after 6 games. And they're 2 of your last 3 MVPs. So,
I will take the flip side of this argument as well, which is that to go to overtime against a team that will finish around 500 at home is not impressive, but the old moniker for the Raiders is just win, baby, and they did just win. So there were some positive signs for the Dolphins. Jacoby looked good.
They've got a great backup quarterback. They do.
Which you always love to have,
Well, you do. You do. Have a look at the Texans. That was bad.
especially when
It
you're
was just boring, the Texans. Yeah.
especially when your first choice quarterback, there's still such a big question mark over him. It is nice that the second one can come in and force overtime losses,
Yeah.
Other games worth mentioning, I would say we have to give a shout out to Justin Tucker breaking the NFL record for longest field goal, which was 66 yards to doink Detroit to
There
death.
had never been a 65-yard field goal. He broke it by 2 yards, which, if you look into the Detroit Lions curse, back before the merger, you'll read it and you'll believe it.
Yeah.
When you have a look at this kick,
Some of the
It's-
social media coming out from the game of Lions fans filming the moment, and before they've even kicked it, they're pointing at each other and like, well, he's just going to get it. It's obvious that we're going to lose this way.
I swear, like, that ball doinked so heavy on that crossbar that, like, hundreds of abandoned buildings across Detroit City just crumbled.
All of the old car factories just shattered the windows in them.
The Motor City. Yeah, that's a tough L.
On the topic of long field goals, Arizona actually tried to attempt one.
This is what I've been trying to tell you, that the coach sucks, but the quarterback is so good, right? Like, so when they went for this kick, right?
Against Jacksonville,
A 68-yard field goal. I just told you that there'd never been a 65-yard field goal. But Coach King Wizard, he's like, you know what? I'll be able to smash it by 3 yards. Easy. Well, guess what, mate? You cost your team 7 points, and I was laughing the whole time.
That was one of those moments, the famous Auburn college finish comes to
Great call, too. It was a great call.
where, loved that. But I don't necessarily disagree with that decision. You would expect with second...
60. My point is, you may as well try from 75. It's not going over.
Come on.
Nah.
If there are 3 seconds left in the half, I would hope that my special teams can get organised enough to stop an 109-yard touchdown.
It's your field goal special teams. Lots of heavier bodies out there.
Yeah, so that was the week that was. Must move on to some Aussies, obviously. As we mentioned, No Mailata and the Philly O-line got swamped.
Hey, we're not saying they're related, just saying it might be.
Adam Gotsis, though, had his best turnout. He had 4 total tackles, 2 solo, 2 assisted for the Jags against the Cardinals.
That is good.
Let's get into the punters, obviously.
Please.
A couple of good day outs there. Aaron Sipos, who also plays for Philly, 6 punts, 43 yards, average 2 inside 20. Mitch Wishnowski for the 49ers, good day, 4 punts, 53-yard average, 3 inside 20. Dixon, surprisingly a bad performance by his standards, we'll say. Only 2 punts, which obviously has more to do with the offense, but 44-yard average and only one of them inside 20. We expect more from you, Michael Dixon.
Yes.
I hope you're listening.
Wishnowski had a penalty against him, and they're like, number 17, delay of game. And he was like, what? Full checked his number.
Oh, it's me. And Cam Johnson for the Texans had 6 punts, 45-yard average, 3 inside 20. Good day out for Johnson and for Wishnowski, actually, besides the flag. But a delay of games, typically not the punters.
Wasn't his fault. They got out there late, obviously. He was like, I just got here. Why? What? I don't know enough rules to understand why I gave away a penalty.
Let's rip into the upcoming fixtures for this week. The first game, we have to talk about this. I was in an agreement before the start of the season. The NFL organization got together and decided that Thursday night football was going to be like the exhibition for all of the teams that no one is going to watch otherwise. Because last week, obviously, Texans, Panthers, not many people are excited about that. This week, Bengals, Jags. What are you excited about in this match, Teddy?
I was a big Joe Burrow fan when he came into the league, so I'll be excited to see that. Jamar Chase, the youngest dude to score 3 or 4 touchdowns over the first 3 games, him and Randy Moss.
And the year LSU won with Burrow, they played against Trevor Lawrence's Clemson, right?
That's cool. Yeah.
Hey, look at this. We're finding exciting things.
Hey, that's good, man.
And the Bengals are slowly building by their standards, a good season. So another win against the Jags.
It's already better than about 5 or 6 seasons they've had throughout their history.
Put
Two
together.
wins. 2 wins.
Then some truly exciting news for all of our Australian fans, which is that after the Thursday night game, over the weekend we hit daylight saving, which means the 3 a.m. games become the 4 a.m. games, the 10:15, 10:20 games become 11:15, 11:20. More football in better hours of the day for us. Unless you're a night owl like yourself, you'll probably be devastated. You'll have to stay up an extra hour through the night.
Yeah. I'll work it out, mate.
But that means that the Sunday night football, which is Monday morning, will be 11:20 a.m. And that is the game we talked about, the Patriots coming up against the Bucs. Brady visiting his best friend Belichick for another.
They're not best friends.
But I thought what Belichick said was fair enough. He basically came out and said, "There's no hard feelings between us. You know, Tom had the decision to make, and Tampa have a better team."
Yeah.
Had
But
more
did you hear what
options.
Tom Brady said?
Oh,
Weeks
that
ago?
led to that? No.
He was over being treated like another player. Like,
What?
yeah. Yeah. He just used to treat him like another player. Where Tom Brady in Tampa gets treated the way Tom Brady should get treated.
Well,
Like
yeah,
a
he's got
7-time Super Bowl champion.
the keys to Florida, I think, already.
The reason why I would pick the Bucs this week, it's a simple one. They lost last week.
Mm.
I don't see them doubling up. They're still the current Super Bowl champions.
Oh, but you could see the Chiefs losing 2 in a row.
Well, they're not the current Super Bowl champions. I think it'll be exciting seeing Brady back there, watching him break the record, but both those things will peter out at the end of the first quarter.
And then 24 hours after that, 11:15 in the blessed AM for Monday Night Football, Tuesday morning our time, is the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
AFC West big dogs. That should be good. That should be real good. It'll be an opportunity for one of these teams to consolidate their start of the season. It'll be a really good notch on the belt for whoever wins this game. You'll take control of your division over one more opponent. For the Raiders to already have 2 wins over the Chiefs, to be 2 wins above the Chiefs, is wild. So they really want to build on that. And yeah, if you can go into week 5 with 2 wins over the Chiefs, if you're the Raiders, it can be a really it could be a building block to a playoff season for them.
Other games worth watching or watching out for, I would say, are Rams playing the Cardinals.
That's good too, for sure. That could be 38-36.
Packers playing the Steelers and 49ers playing the Seahawks. All pretty good matchups, I would say.
Seahawks 1 and 2, they really need a win. If Rams can beat the Cardinals and Seahawks lose, they're three games behind the leaders of their division. So could be tough.
That's just about all we've got time for, I think, Ted. Thank you very much, as always, for your company.
I've got one stat for you before we leave.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to finish on a stat.
New York Jets and New York Giants both have 17 wins since the 2017 season. Tom Brady already has 17 wins of the Bucs, including playoffs. That was a fun one. This is a stinky one. Jacksonville have won. Oh, no, they haven't won. They've lost 19 straight games. And another one for you, those undefeated teams we're talking about, 75% of teams that start 3-0 make the playoffs. That's off 20 years of data.
Wow.
So get excited.
I distinctly remember the Jags putting up a video last season because they started the year 1-0 and the video was like a hype video.
Last year.
It only goes from here.
That last year, round 1, Jacksonville's win cost me a multi and turned me off betting for the entire season. I had a couple of flirtations with it. They legit didn't win another game all season. That was their one win. So yeah, suck eggs, Jacksonville. I'm glad you've lost 19 straight. You cost me $120.
Well, hopefully everyone else's week is going much better than the people of Jacksonville. They're going to have another long season. That's all from us. Thank you.
Cheers, Chris.